guess what? I am going to watch CeCe Winans live here in Kingston, Jamaica. And I'm gonna get ready with you. I'm gonna take you along for the drive and for as much of the concert as I can capture, because I have a way of forgetting when I'm in the moment that I need to share by recording. So forgive me if I don't capture a lot. But the question I keep getting asked whenever I talk about living in Jamaica and the fact that although I've worked in the capacity of a vice president for Fortune 500 companies, when I work for Xerox as an example, I manage different countries across the globe, as far as Africa, India, the Philippines, back to several states in the United States, the Caribbean, Jamaica, and I've spent extended periods in each place and could have opted to live in each place if I'd wanted to. And even in one case, it was being discussed to offer me a salary package of over $1 million in $1 million US per year to migrate to the US and assume a more senior role there. Obviously, I'm still here, so I said no to that. And I keep getting asked, Odetta, why are you still here? Why would you not move to all these other places? And, you know, I don't want to give the impression that people who take opportunities and move to other countries did something wrong or they shouldn't have done it. To each his own, right? Most people do it to pursue better opportunities, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's not what this video is about. This video is about why I, Odetta, had the opportunities and chose not to, even though I wasn't at this stage of my life then, meaning I was born into humble beginnings. So I know what it felt like to have nothing. And at that time, I didn't have as much as I do now, whether that's financially, spiritually, mentally, or in any way. I wasn't even close to being this mature. But I still said no, and I wanted to share some reasons with you. So I'm going to share a few now while I'm getting ready, and then on the way to the event, and then at the event, or I may have to do a voiceover at some places because, you know, it may get tricky because I always tend to forget to record whenever I'm supposed to. And that's because I get caught up in the moment, because I love to live in the moment. The first reason I want to talk about is the fact that more money doesn't always mean a better life, right? I have earned less in Jamaica, and at the time when this offer was made, I wasn't earning anything close to what I was making at the end of my career. And if you're watching for the first time, I'm retired from working for corporate or other people, and I did it at age 42. Next year I'll be age 50, so that gives you some perspective. But you know, back then when these offers were coming, I wasn't making anything close to what I'm making today or what I made before I retired. But I realized that I still had a better standard of living than my colleagues who were making significantly more, especially those who worked in the United States and were in similar VP roles or other senior or C-level roles. And that's simply because there is some amount of calm that goes with island living. There is less rush, there is less anxiety, in my opinion, and you get to be more present, right? Let me show you a video here of me recently on a road trip to St. Thomas. And what I find in Jamaica, it's so easy to get lost in the moment and to be there and not to be distracted by everything else that's happening around you, whether it's the pace of where you're living or anxiety related to just your career, your life, and the fact that a lot of persons, especially who live in the United States, they're working to pay bills and to survive. I wake up to sunshine, not cold winters. I don't like cold. And I've had to work in New York for about 2 years. I mean, every Monday I would fly to JFK and I would drive about 3.5 hours to a place called Kingston, New York, which is in upstate New York. And I would spend the week there. And then on a Friday, because I refused to relocate, I would then have to get on a plane, well, drive to JFK for several hours. Can I tell you how many times I fell asleep on that road? I know God was in the back seat of that car every single time to save my life. Because I heard the brrr, you know, that thing you hear when you're driving upstate New York on the side of the road when you're about to go off. That saved my life so many times. But I know it was God. Anyway, I would drive back on a Friday so I could be with my son, who was still relatively young. And I wanted to spend as much time as possible with him during his formative years. So I remember being in upstate New York during winter time, and it got so cold, and I've said this before in videos, that, you know, when I was trying to clean the snow from my rental car, you know how your eyes fill up with water and it starts running down your cheeks when it gets very cold? That was happening to me, and the tears on my face started to freeze. No joke. Started to harden up and, you know, feel frothy, or frosty is the word I'm looking for, on my face. And I just thought to myself, you know what? I was not born for this kind of lifestyle. Now, why do I talk about that when I talk about more money? More money doesn't mean more comfort or a better life. Because in Jamaica, you don't need heat to be comfortable in your home. Yeah, can get very hot here, but you're not going to freeze to death. And I think a lot of people take that for granted, that if you can't afford to pay for heat, you may just die from the cold. You also don't need to have air condition. The vast majority of people living on this island, they survive with a fan or nothing at all. We live in the mountains, so we don't use air condition. We have it installed, but it's more for, it's not even decorative because it's pretty ugly now that I'm looking at it over there, but we rarely use it. So you can live here comfortably without air or without heat, which means, again, you don't need to have a lot of money to have a better life. I find that because I'm able to breathe clean air, I breathe easier, not just literally, but spiritually. I feel free. I'm not sure how to explain it, but if you understand me, tell me in the comments. And also, you know, there's a debt culture that exists in a lot of countries across the globe. And unfortunately, Jamaica is adopting it now to a certain extent. But you don't feel drowned in debt or buried in debt just to survive, or you don't feel like you're just working to pay the bills. There's something happening beyond your job. And if you're in Jamaica and you're starting to feel that way, you may need to reassess your situation. You see, the thing is, I didn't want to live a life where I just existed comfortably. No, I want to live a life where I live fully. In Jamaica, I don't just grind, or I didn't just grind. I laughed out loud. I would greet strangers and, you know, have conversations with them. I could eat food made by a stranger's hand. I love street food, in case you haven't realized by now. I feel alive in everyday moments, just the simplest of things. When I talk to persons who live overseas, they'll tell me that, you know, they feel like they're achieving something, that life is efficient, but it is emotionally empty, if you know what I mean. And this is why a lot of persons complain about depression and related diseases, because they feel this emptiness inside, whether it's during winter time or the fact that you and your neighbor may not have a relationship. Here in Jamaica, growing up, I should say, if we ran out of salt, my mother would say, go next door and borrow some salt from Miss Marvel. Or we would be at our neighbor's house watching TV or doing something, and it's dinner time, and they just share dinner for everybody. It wasn't a thing. There were relationships forged with your greater community. Now, guys, I'm running late, so I'm gonna wrap this up for right now, and I'll join you back when I'm driving to the event, because I hear my mother calling me. Can you imagine? I told you it's me and my mom going, and I can hear her knocking on the door. And I know it's because I'm running late. So I'll see you guys soon. Now we are en route to watch CeCe Winans And there's mommy over there. And if you didn't know by now, it's Emancipation Day in Jamaica. And this leads me to my next reason why I wouldn't live anywhere but Jamaica. And I've qualified this earlier because we're not trying to judge the people who have made a different decision, because there are people who have left for better opportunities. This is not chastising them. This is just my perspective. And the reason is the people here are my people. This is my nation. My forefathers fought for this nation. And as a direct descendant of Maroons from Maroon Town, specifically Flagstaff, which was where the first Maroon Treaty was signed, I can tell you that knowing what my forefathers had to go through to gain their freedom, I'm not just walking away from this land here. And it may sound a little bit cliche, but it's just what I believe in. Also, I never have to explain my dialect, the fact that I speak patois. I never feel like I'm too loud or feel like I'm too spiritual or feel like I'm too black while living in Jamaica. And I've been in places across the globe and felt like my blackness was grabbing attention that I didn't need at that particular time. So that's another reason, everything feels familiar here, whether it's the food, whether it's the culture. Like I said, it's my people. And there's a famous saying that, being Jamaican isn't just a nationality, it's an experience. And I can relate to that because I don't know how to explain the privilege that I feel when I think about my roots, where I'm from, what my culture represents, and just the people that's here, just the talent and the fact that I get to walk among these great people. So the event is being held at King's House under the patronage of the Governor General. And one of the things I like about this event is the fact that 100%
in 0.1 miles
of the proceeds from the event goes to charity. Not 50%, not 10%, 100%. So basically every dollar in profit that they make goes to charity. And yeah, I mean, it's a great way to
reported ahead.
It's a great way to worship, but it's also a great way to give back as well. And I'll turn this camera back on when I'm at the location. One of the biggest reasons I chose to stay in Jamaica is because my community is my safety net. Where I grew up, people check on you. If something happens, someone knows. People still say good morning like they mean it. They'll even stop what they're doing to help push your car if it breaks down. And if you're sick, someone shows up with food, not out of obligation, but out of care. That kind of love, that kind of real human connection, you don't find that in high rises or gated communities overseas. In my experience, you just don't. And listen, this island, it feeds me, not just physically, although I will never get tired of coconut water on the corner or mangoes falling from the tree like blessings, but spiritually and mentally. Where else can you pause your day to take a river dip or stop at the beach and still make it back home before sunset? I don't crave vacations because I live in one. Now that I'm retired from corporate, there's something I didn't expect to appreciate so much. The fact that I still get to work globally, but I do it from right here. I still collaborate with international clients. I still earn in US dollars, but I don't have to uproot my life or my peace to do it. I get the joy of global impact with local rest. It's the best of both worlds. And I'm not giving that up. But more than all of that, I stayed because I wanted to pour into my country, not just take from it. When I worked in corporate and hired over 6,000 Jamaicans, I felt that impact deeply. And today, whether it's building a new business, giving a speech, or just trying to inspire one young person to dream bigger, I get to do it all right here on my soil. I didn't leave, I stayed, and that choice, That's part of my legacy because my success means more when it contributes to home. And over the years, I've learned something else. Something I wish more people understood. Peace is more valuable than paychecks. Yes, I've turned down big money. I've walked away from big titles and tempting offers, but I gained something bigger. Joy, clarity, purpose, and freedom. There's not a salary in the world that can replace what I feel when I wake up here.
All the people in new clothes make some noise.
Amen.
You know, I said that because
Mommy, you in a new clothes, mommy?
when them say in something, because I see Nadine wear a dress on TV, and I was looking if I'm going to see Nadine in it again. And when you work in TV, people watch us study here, and when you post a picture, I always say,
And study.
wherever you go, Terry Carl know this very well.
Yes,
You understand? Claudine Heavens know this very well. You know? Whenever you wear something,
Twice.
and you can wear it again,
Fries and
and
fickle.
your clothes,
I feel we.
all the people who in a freedom clothes, stand up and say, my clothes! My clothes! Don't fear, don't shy, don't fear of the camera. If you know, say, oh, well. And if you enjoy yourself, take off your hair and fling it up here.
Graduation. Keep on your hair.
Now listen, Jamaica's not perfect. We've got work to do. Our healthcare system still needs help. And even though crime has improved, we've got to keep pushing. But no country is perfect. Every place has its flaws. We all get to choose our version of imperfection. And for me, Jamaica is worth it every time. Staying here, choosing this life was one of the best decisions I've ever made. So now I want to hear from you. If you stayed, why did you stay? And if you left, what do you miss most that could bring you back home? Let's talk in the comments, because sometimes coming home isn't a place, it's a choice.
I tell you something, a minister, he's not on this show tonight, but he's here, Rondell Positive. Rondell Positive was minister in somewhere, right?
Yes.
And he was singing a song, cover me, cover me.
Yes.
So he was saying, cover me, and you should go like this.
Yes.
So every time you go like, and I watch this lady, she go like this, and accidentally,
Lord.
she goes some bunks,
And the hair fell off.
fell
Lord
right to the
Jesus.
ground.
Wash me clean and know me life sweeter. Rabbi, me savior, Christ, you are my teacher. Crucify, bless, Father, you me cleaner. Seal up, no, I lose focus.
What about Kevin Downs right now? You made me.
We are Patriotism. Nobody no more down with. Nobody no more down with. Yeah. I promise you, yes, we got power. Promise you, yes, we got power. Nobody no more down with. Nobody no more down with. Yeah. And the devil not no more power. And the blessing help them turn back. Wait till this. Get your book and get your pen. Hey, who boots them? I must see supple gen. When them think of me alone, the Holy Ghost say, hi, my friend. And it don't when them sing and I me put me trample them. You see the blind, I see the deaf, I hear the dumb, I talk to them. Talk. And when it come to me soul, me no laugh. Me pop off Psalm 49 that I will laugh. Your last one, God, I be sure you make a rock. Well, we love them.
To confer the keys to the city of Kingston to celebrated and award-winning international gospel recording artist, Mrs. Priscilla Marie Love, otherwise known as CeCe Winans.
This is not the time to be afraid. The odds may be against me, but you have the final say. Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Bread that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness